Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, everybody. How we doing? Hope everybody feels pretty good. So this might become a little bit of a mini series with picking apart certain videos that I may come across from old Kevin Samuel clips. And it may come up as I come across them. But this may have to be a small series. I don't know how long it may go on or not go on, but these clips are pretty much gold in terms of what was discussed and how certain things were discussed. Why does it seem like it's been a long time since I talked to y'all? The last live stream was Monday. Seem like I haven't been here in forever. But anyway, I wanted to show a clip, and I may end up showing a couple of different clips as it ties into what I talk about today. But I guess it's better for me to just go into it.
I think it was 5.
How long is your longest relationship?
I think it was 5 years.
5 years? 5 years long?
Yeah.
How long ago did it end?
2 years ago.
And which one of you ended it?
Me.
Why?
I didn't want to be in it.
Why?
It's a long story, but
No, make it quick. You weren't feeling it?
Like I wasn't happy. It wasn't it. He didn't bring out my happiness, or we didn't just match. I don't know. It wasn't it. Mm-hmm.
How'd you end it?
I just told him that it's not working. I was dropping him off at work.
About how far from work?
Probably like, I don't know. That was 2 years ago. I honestly don't remember.
It was a 5-year relationship.
No, but I have selective memory. So probably like, it wasn't that far. Probably like another 10, 15 minutes to his job.
You need to start asking women how their relationships end. And I want you guys to understand, this one was in a 5-year relationship, and she ended it in a cold, callous way. The man was on.
Sorry. Okay.
You think it's appropriate for a 5-year relationship to be driving somebody to French toast ass work, and they got to have that on their mind while they're at work? See, I told you, modern women are cowards. They don't deal with conflict, and when they're done with you, they get rid of you. How long is your longest relationship?
I think it was 5 years.
5 years? 5 years long?
Yeah.
How long ago did it end?
2 years ago.
And which one of you ended it?
Me.
Why?
I didn't want to be in it.
Why?
It's a long story, but
No, make it
I wasn't
quick.
feeling it.
You weren't feeling it?
Like I wasn't happy. It wasn't it. He didn't bring out my happiness, or we didn't just match. I don't know. It wasn't it.
So I'm gonna pause it. This woman says that her last relationship that she was in was 5 years. And that she was the one that ended it. When he began to sort of ask more questions, she said, "Oh, I just didn't want to be in it." Okay, why? It's a long story. That's not a long story. What she said was not a long story. That was short. I didn't want to be in it. It took you 5 years to determine that y'all was not a match and that y'all didn't click up. It don't take nobody that long to figure that out. It just, man or woman. You know when you like people. You know when you want to be around people. You know when you are clicked with people. You know when you're getting along with people. And you know when you don't. It's very easy because it's an energetic thing. It's an energetic thing. I have known instantly, just through observation of other people that I have never even talked to, me and that person not gonna get along. Because I know me. First off, I know me. That's number one. Whether I know them or not, I know me. And if you show me certain, you know what I'm saying, if I observe you and I see certain stuff, because see, you do that. And that didn't have nothing to do with me. That was just how you are in your natural habitat. So me and you probably wouldn't get along just because that right there. You know instantly. Now, some people, you don't. You got to get to know them. You know, you're open to get to know them. You get to know them. And then through time, you determine whether or not you like this person. They don't like it. You don't like this person, whatever the case. But 5 years of a so-called relationship and you don't, and it was just because y'all didn't click. When you listen to hyenas talk, you got to listen between the hyena cackle. You got to listen between it because they start talking, but they talk between it. We didn't click means I didn't get to behave and do what I wanted to do and behave how I wanted to behave without having to be accountable for my behavior, without having to, you know, take into consideration him as regards to my behavior, as regards to anything that I may have been doing or not doing. You know, I just didn't want to be responsible in the relationship. I didn't want to hold my end of the responsibility of the relationship. I didn't want to do it. See, this is also a dodging of accountability. It's not just dodging accountability when they've done something obviously wrong and then you point it out and then they say no and then try to, you know, get around it. That's one form. The other form is the dodging of responsibility, which is hand to hand with accountability. Women break up their relationships when there's nothing going on. I'm talking about when there's nothing going on in the relationship that would warrant it to be broken. When women do that, they're just tired of even the perception of the responsibility that they have to carry. They just don't want to be on the hook for nobody's feelings. They don't want to be on the hook for that. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to have conversations where the guy is expressing himself and saying anything about what he feels or what's going on with him or how he's experiencing this relationship. That's too much. That's too much. It's too much to do for them mentally and emotionally. So once the relationship gets to a point where you have to start having these types of conversations and you have to start interacting like that, that's when they get tired of it. I'm done. You know, it's too heavy. It calls for me to be an adult and think about adult things, not just have fun all day and have sex with this person and kick it with this person. Whenever it comes time for them not to kick it, they be done with it. Because, and it's not that the kicking is stopped, it's just that they don't want to do the other part.
How'd you end it?
I just told him that it's not working. I was dropping him off at work.
About how far from work?
Probably like, I don't know. That was 2 years ago. I honestly don't remember.
She remembers it. She remembers all of it. Give me 2 seconds. Thank you for being patient. She remembers. Let me rewind that just a little bit.
I don't probably like, I don't know. That was 2 years ago. I honestly don't remember.
It was a 5 year.
She remembers. She remembers very well what happened. She remembers the exact day. She remembers exactly what she said. She remembers what he said. She remembers the reaction. She remembers that conversation. She remembers what she did after. She remember it. Getting on here talking about, oh, I don't remember. That is code for, I don't want to get into it. Because getting into it means that I have to explain my rationale. And if I have to explain my rationale and go into the why to's and wherefores as to why I made that decision, and you get to asking questions, and now I got to answer the questions. And see, that's going too far into a thought process that they don't want to explain. They can explain it, but the explanation of it makes them look bad. That's why a lot of times when you start digging, especially on platforms like that, and you start asking more questions, and any of these like public platforms, like if you go back to way back to the Iyanla Fix My Life, when she would get to start asking questions specifically to the women. Okay, now let me ask you this. They don't like follow-up questions because follow-up questions flesh out more of what was actually happening. They like to give you the surface of it and hope that you'll leave it alone, no matter what the surface is, because everybody's supposed to be stupid and they're not supposed to gather what the next question is supposed to be, given what the answer was. I don't remember. And not remembering, you know how you come for something somebody don't remember. You gonna make them remember it? If they study talking about how they don't remember this and don't remember that, you gonna make them remember it? You can know they lying all day. I remember. She remember that because she cackled with her girlfriends about it. You can guarantee that. She cackled with her girlfriends afterwards. Girl, I dropped him, girl. He was crying. He was mad. He was big mad. That. So she remembers that entire exchange. The reason why she was trying to dodge it away from Kevin asking those questions was because, once again, she didn't want to have to explain her rationale. Why did she choose to do it that way and all of that? However, when you're not stupid, you can suss out the rationale even when they don't want to say.
Relationship.
No, but I have selective memory.
Another lie. You got selective memory. Girl.
So probably like, it wasn't that far. Probably like another 10, 15 minutes to his job.
You need to start asking women how their relationships end. And I want you guys to understand, this one was in a 5-year relationship, and she ended in a cold, callous way. The man was on.
And then she starts giggling. And then she starts giggling. Like, how could you say that I was being cold and you was being a coward? And I'm glad that he said that towards the end. You're being a coward. You waited until he was almost out of the car, 10 or 15 minutes away from the destination, so that he doesn't have time to process what you said and to respond to what is being said to him. He doesn't have time to process it. This was the reason why I want to tell you that I am breaking up with you, regardless of how that makes you feel, whether his heart was broken, whether he was indifferent about it, whether he saw it coming, regardless of what his reaction and response to it was, how she came at it says more about her than him. Because you weren't trying to have that conversation. You weren't trying to answer the questions and dig into, once again, don't want to explain the rationale. Why aren't you quote unquote happy? Why are we breaking up? What is the specific timeline for this? Don't want to have to face the music, as we used to say. Don't want to face no music. So just avoid the conflict that you're starting. You know that's going to be on that man's mind all day. He was with you for 5 years. He liked something. You weren't a 5-minute hookup. You wasn't a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying, talking, and then y'all just ain't talk no more. And he good, you know, he ain't heartbroken or nothing. You don't know what his response was. Now I've got to try to concentrate on whatever it is my work is with this foolishness on my mind.
Sorry. Okay.
You think it's appropriate for a 5-year relationship to be driving somebody to French toast ass work And they got to have that on their mind while they're at work. See, I told you modern women are cowards. They don't deal with conflict. And when they're done with you, they get rid of you. How long is your longest relationship?
Now, this same kind of woman will be somewhere hooping and hollering about a man done wasted her time. This same type of woman will be somewhere if a man was with her for 5 years that she wanted to marry and he wouldn't marry her, won't propose to her, won't push the relationship forward, she would claim that she had to leave the relationship because he was wasting her time. And she would be salty about it. She would tell the whole internet that these men are nothing more than time wasters. You know, they will, they will just not, just whatever. Had the shoe been on the other foot, she would have been complaining. These men waste your time. He would marry me. He just wanted me to do wife stuff. He wanted me to do girlfriend stuff. He wanted me to do all of this stuff without the wife title. And I wasn't going to do it. And I was tired of supporting him and this and that. And he doesn't even want to commit to me. He wasted my time. I don't want to waste my youth on him. And he doesn't even want to commit to me. Now, can men waste your time? They certainly can. But I usually try to tell women, don't let your time be wasted. Nobody should let their time be wasted. If somebody's with you and this is just not shaping up at all, no use in staying for years and years and years. There's no use. Again, you know when stuff not clicking. You know when it's not aligned. And then she was sitting there giggling. This one will be the one that doesn't understand why she's not married. I'm natural, because that's her hair. That was her fresh face. Cute too. Look like a little Taraji P. Henson. She kind of favor. Just a little younger and a little bit lighter. I'm natural. Black men say they want natural hair, and they say they don't like a lot of makeup, and they say they want you to kind of be in shape and stuff like that. And I am, and men still don't want me because you act like that. They never talk about the part where they act crazy and are dismissive within a relationship. Especially if they're in a relationship with a man that they benefit from, but they don't completely like. They like them, but not enough. They like them, but not enough. See, I want to kind of dispel that myth. The women who call themselves settling for the men that they don't really, really want, they don't completely dislike the men. That's a minority of women who completely don't like the men, but they still will deal with them. Most women who call themselves done settle for the man, they like them. They like them, just not enough. They not head over heels for him. They like him enough. Just enough to try to play like they in a relationship with him. They like him just enough to go ahead and lay down with him. They like him just enough, not too much. They don't like him too much because they'll be with him. They'll be all right sometimes. That's the liking him a little bit. They like him a little bit. The not liking him enough, though, is where they get the I'm still going to be sassy. I'm still going to be disruptive within the relationship. It's, he can't tell me. He can't really tell me what to do, though, for real. Like, I do kind of what I want to do. And I might listen to him sometime. I might not. And that's up to my discretion for how I feel that day. If I like him that day or I don't like him that day. See, when a woman is with a man that she don't like enough, she's always irritated at this man. As the old folks say, a little bit of his syrup go all over her plate. Anything agitate her about him because she don't like him enough. She tolerating. Thank you. She like him a little bit, not enough. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and then we're going to continue because I got some other things to sort of share. But after these messages, we'll be right back. So I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you're trying to have your skin looking and feeling its absolute best, then you need some of this body butter that is on the screen right now. And the only way you can get that is by clicking the link at the top of the chat for ashkicking.com. If this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Oh, you guys are bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to Go ahead and hit the like button. Thank you, Lydell. I appreciate your contribution. I appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And thank you, Antonine. I appreciate your super sticker as well. And also, thank you, Bakish, for your super sticker. I appreciate you and your continued support. You always consistently support me. So thank you so much. And thank you, Shell Shock, for being a member for 13 months. And what's going on? Nothing too much. Thank you so much for your support as a member. I appreciate you. Okay. So we're going to kind of get back to it. Very dismissive in these relationships. Very disruptive. See, this is the type of stuff that go on when they don't like the men. Let me see if I can. No, this is different. Hold on. Let me find this.
Get this right. A man commits to a relationship or marries a woman dependent on the fact that he's not going to have to go anywhere else for sex. He's not going to have to go anywhere else for affection. He's not going to have to go anywhere else for an ear, for support. But yet, how is it that it's all stripped away from him once he gets with you? Let me get this right. A man commits to a relationship or marries a woman dependent on the fact that he's not going to have to go anywhere else for sex. He's not going to have to go anywhere else for affection. He's not going to have to go anywhere else for an ear, for support. But yet, how is it that it's all stripped away from him once he gets with you? Let me get this right.
Her popping the phone at the end is funny, but she's right. That's what I mean by when the woman don't like him enough. She like him a little bit, she tolerate him a little bit. Because all of the things that are supposed to be you in the relationship as the woman, all of the things that you're supposed to provide. Matter of fact, let me run that back. Because she low-key listed a few of the key things that a wife is actually providing for her husband. For those who are like, well, what do women do in a relationship? This is some of the key things. Just a couple, just off the surface.
A man commits to a relationship or marries a woman dependent on the fact that he's not going to have to go anywhere else for sex.
Sex. That's one. That's a big one. Everybody know about the sex part, right? If you get married, you're supposed to be able to provide the sexual aspect of this relationship. That is a part of what you agree to in marriage. You agree that we are sexually available to the extent that we can be to each other. And when I say to the extent that we can be, barring different circumstances, sicknesses, things that make you indisposed to sex. You can't have sex right now. But aside from any specific circumstances that might prevent you from actually being able to have sex, the general concept is that we're sexually available to one another. The man is not supposed to withhold himself from his wife, and his wife is not to withhold herself from him. That actually is a two-way street, because we're coverings for one another. We're supposed to cover each other by meeting the need in hopes that would deter the commission of adultery. If your need is being met here within the confine of the marriage, there should be no reason why you're trying to meet that need in an illicit way outside of the marriage. So a covering, a protection for each one. Again, a wife is not to just arbitrarily deny her husband there's no reason and she consistently do it. You understand what I mean? Every once in a while, I don't feel like it right now, or I don't have time right now. And she probably, if that's valid, she probably can tell you why she don't got time right now or why she's not in the mood right this moment. A man might do the same thing. Not right now. I don't have time right now. That doesn't mean forever. Or I never have time, or I never want to do it. That's circumstantial. It's right now. Meaning that conditions change probably later on today. I'll actually be in the mood or I'll have time. That's just different circumstances in life. But when I say deny sex, I mean consistently in a state of denying sexual availability to your spouse for no valid reasons, just consistently, especially when it gets to a point where they feel like that need is just not being met sufficiently. Like they're going too long without it. And you know what I'm saying? Like no real effort is being made to rectify that situation or to address it. Even if life started happening and a week went by or 2 weeks went by because things was going so haywire, that's actually forgivable, especially when both of you know that's what's going on. And it's like, wait a minute, how long has it been? Come here. We understand that that's not intentional. That's not spiteful. That's not malicious. You're not withholding. You're not saying, I don't want to be sexually available to my spouse because I want to hurt them. Or because I'm trying to punish them somehow. And we usually know the difference. Because it comes with an energy. It comes with an energy. It comes with the distance. It comes with not connecting emotionally in any other ways either. So not just the intimacy and the sex, but other connections have broken down. Y'all don't really have the conversations like you used to have. And you know what I'm saying? The time that you spend together is stressful or it's awkward or you can't really engage in conversations like you used to, or you know what I'm saying? It's fraught with a lot of bickering and arguing, and that it come with an energy. It's never just we not having sex but everything else is cool. It come with an energy. So she named sex. Let's get to.
He's not going to have to go anywhere else for affection. He's not going to have to go anywhere else for an ear, for
affection and an ear. Affection and an ear. These are the other things that women provide. Affection and an ear, i.e., a safe space, an emotionally safe environment for her husband to express whatever level of emotion he wants to express without fearing that it's going to be thrown in his face, that he's going to be ridiculed about it, that he's going to be dismissed over it, that respect will be lost because of it, and all of this type of stuff. Let me do a little side spin real quick to talk about creating safe spaces for your husband to express his emotions. Because a lot of women, that's a little talking point at this point. The men aren't vulnerable. You're not safe. Men are not vulnerable with you in your relationship because you're not safe. At some point, you proved to him that you were not emotionally safe for him. And you got to think about it. If he told you something in confidence, did you tell somebody else and it got back to him? If he told you some vulnerable or intimate or, information when y'all was in peacetime, and then when you start arguing, did you throw it up and then insult him over it? If at any point he was trying to open up, trying to talk to you, trying to communicate to you on a deeper level, on a more emotional level, did you dismiss him? Did you just sort of not connect to the moment it went over your head? And if it went over your head, did you at any point recognize, oh, wait, you were trying to do this? Did you ever go back and like connect and apologize? Like, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't realize what you were telling me. And I was distracted over here. But let me give you my attention. My apologies, sweetheart. What were you saying to me? And give him your undivided attention so that he knows that even if you were distracted or something, that it wasn't some malicious thing towards him, or you wasn't trying to like hurt his feelings or dismiss him. If you did any of them things and anything that's adjacent to those things, and this is a consistent thing for you, that's why he don't talk to you. That's why he's not vulnerable, because you demonstrated that you were not a safe space for him to do that. This is coupled with chicks not only having a talking point about how the men don't want to open up, but of course they don't want to open up because you also get on the internet to say that you actively lose respect for a man if he is vulnerable with you. If he shows his underbelly to you at all, then you lose respect for him as a man because he had a moment of breakdown, or he had a moment of uncertainty, or he had a moment where he just wasn't sure, or he just didn't know right now. Like, man, is you stressed out? What I to this day, I don't understand that. I don't understand how is it that a man that you say you love and is married to, and y'all doing life together, and you are actively say anywhere to him, online, in the atmosphere, I don't care where you at, that you would actively sit here and say that I lose respect for a man if I see him in a vulnerable position. That's crazy to me. That has always been crazy to me. And I have always wanted to say that. That has always been crazy talk to me. How you figure that? So you want to do life with this person. You want to spend 10, 20, 30, for decades with this person. And you think that the ups and downs of life is never going to weigh down on him, and he can't come to you for the comfort that you supposed to provide? That's crazy work. That's crazy work. My father has always been the strongest man I know. You know how father is a superhero. Superhero. Nobody could whoop him, far as I was concerned. Nobody could beat him, far as I was concerned. Nobody was better than him, as far as I was concerned, because I was daddy's little girl. But, we grown or whatever. And life started hitting my dad, and different things started happening to him. And he would break down. He wasn't crying every 10 seconds. But there's only a couple of times and I can count them on one hand with fingers left over, that I've actually seen the tears fall from my father's eyes. And never one time in any of that, at any of them times, did I think that my father was any less of a man. At no point did I believe, feel in my heart, nor did the thought cross me that my father wasn't who he was, because things was happening and it stressed him out, and he said that to me. He confided that to me. That has never crossed my mind, that he was somehow less than because he was human and had a moment of humanity. My late husband, I have seen that man in some of the most vulnerable positions physically and emotionally. I have seen him break down, snot, cry. Never once did it cross my mind that he wasn't a strong man or a man worthy of respect. Why would him having an emotion and having a moment with his wife, with no one else around, no one else to see, an intimate moment, why would I ever think to weaponize that or throw that back up or, stab him with it or, make him feel bad about it or anything? I never thought, it just never occurred to me that he was less of a man. It just never occurred to me that I didn't attach that to his manhood. I didn't attach that to his masculinity. My husband today, if at any point I see him stressed or down or, in a type of little mood or anything, I never think, oh my God, he's not worthy of respect. That's crazy. So he's supposed to be a robot? So if he's a robot, how is it that you want him to show all of this emotion and affection to you if he's unable to show emotion? Because see, emotional safe spaces either exist or they don't. If you make a man's space with you, emotional space with you, unsafe, all of the emotion is unsafe now. Not only his vulnerability, but now he doesn't want to give you the rest of his emotions either. All of that affection, all of that other stuff. You'll notice that he started pulling back for that stuff because you have denied the deeper connections. So the connections that may not be as deep, he can withhold, he start withhold, and he may not want to do it. He might not even consciously do it. But it's like, I can't even talk to this person in an honest, earnest, deep way and know that whatever I said in this moment, I can trust her with. See, trust is at the baseline of that. Emotional safety cannot exist in places where trust don't exist. Trust has to exist, not distrust. If there's distrust, then there cannot be emotional safety because I don't trust you. I don't trust you with what? My heart. I don't trust you with my heart because I think you're going to break it. That's just like if you keep giving somebody $10 and $20 and every time you give them something, they lose it or they do something stupid with the money. You ain't going to give them $1,000. You don't know what to do with the 10 or 20. So why would I give you 1,000? So you can lose that, so you can make a stupid decision with that? We're not doing it. I don't trust you. That's why I'm not going to give you more. You have no relationship when there is no trust. I don't care what motions you go through. When there is no trust, there is no relationship, period, point blank. I don't care. Argue with your mammy. When there's no trust, there is no relationship. Because what you building it on? I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Trust you with what? Trust you how? How so trust you? Trust you with what? Trust you to do what? Trust you to do what? Trust you to behave as what? Trust you to hurt me? Trust you to turn your back on me? Trust you to weaponize information and things of that nature? See, people mistakenly believe that the only way that you can break trust is like the big stuff. Stealing from people, cheating on people, openly lying to people. Those are not the only ways to break trust with people. Trust can be broken in little ways. The so-called little ways, the so-called things that you didn't think was a big deal. That's how you break trust, little by little. So I have always wanted to kind of go on a rant. I'm sorry, I kind of went on a rant about the whole we lose respect for men when they go through something. Like, that's crazy. So your man can't tell you nothing? How your husband can't trust you with no information? Why would he not be able to trust you with his personal information? Why would he not be able to trust you with his heart? That's just crazy to me. Your husband go through something. He might be going through a little something or whatever. You kind of see it, even if he don't come tell you. Even if he don't break down and just, you know what I'm saying, just tell you verbally what's going on. You know when your man ain't in a right space. You know. If you're paying any attention to him, you know when he in a real good space, you know when he in a so-so space, and you know when he kind of, you know, in a down space. And even if he don't just say to you, man, I'm in a down space, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that, because men typically don't really do that, and it's not really required. Even with women who give you emotional safe space, men are not, they're not really going to just sit and just talk about their feelings nonstop anyway. Even if you are an emotional safe space, they're not going to do it, because that's just not how masculinity works. That's just not how it works. They may be in a funk for a little bit about something, and the problem may even be ongoing, even if they're not in the funk about it. But at the same time, you know, most men are not going to do a word vomit about how he feeling, this and that, and blah, 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 blah. He's not going to do it, especially not like how a woman going to do it. Because that's not how they work through their emotions and problems and stuff like that in the first place. So even if you are a woman that has created an emotional safe space for your husband, he's not going to word vomit you anyway. He's not going to spill all of his emotions out every time that he thinks something, or every time he go through something, or every time something happens. So that's also kind of a misnomer. Oh, women want men to tell them everything. No, we don't, because it's not necessary, and men aren't going to do it anyway. And secret, we don't tell y'all all it. For as much as y'all think we talk about our emotions, we actually don't tell y'all everything. A woman that know better, she's not going to tell you everything. But I digress. Not necessary to say it all. But even if you read his body language, and you know, he may say one or two words about it, whatever. And just kind of the energy that he moving with is not to. Why would you think? I just don't get that. Why would you then think, oh, because he's going through something and I can kind of see it, that means I can't respect him no more as a man? Or somehow his strength is diminished to me because he had a moment of maybe, like I said before, maybe uncertainty or maybe doubt, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. He expressed his apprehension about something or his concern over something, he worried about something, whatever the case may have been. So you automatically think he ain't strong no more? That's just crazy. I'm sorry. Any woman listening to me that honestly think that's crazy, I want you to know that that's crazy. I want you to know that that's not even halfway in the realm of like decent human regard for people. This is just not. He's supposed to be able to come to you if he can't come to nobody. You and God. Them supposed to be the two people not people, because God not a person, but you get what I'm saying. Those are supposed to be the two outlets for him that he can always count on. You ain't gonna betray him, and the Lord ain't either. And if that's all he got, usually a man is all right with that. My wife got my back even at low points. She seen me low, and she didn't turn her back. She didn't disrespect me. She didn't do nothing like that. She didn't dishonor me. She helped me. She tried to support me. She tried to find ways to help me with that in whatever way she could. And when I would go to the Lord, he helped me. Usually men is all right with that. Because they don't really be looking for everybody to, you know, poo-poo and tutu and pet. They don't really be looking for that anyway. They look for support, but it come in different forms depending on who it's coming from. He's supposed to be able to tell you what he can't tell his boys. Y'all think it's the other way around. That he's supposed to be able to tell his boys what he don't tell you. That's not real. That's not true. You supposed to be so safe that he could tell you stuff that he would never tell his friend. Because he had to act like it didn't bother him in front of his boys, because that's in front of other men. Emotions is our wheelhouse. So how is it that you don't know how to handle emotion? Because you don't process yours. Y'all don't know how to handle men's emotions or anybody else's external emotions because you don't handle your emotions. You have a bunch of emotions, but you don't process none of them. Having them and processing them, two totally different things. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Women, having your emotions and processing your emotions are two different things. And because you don't know how to process the emotion, that's why you don't know how to deal with people external emotions being directed to you or given to you so you can help them process it. That's supposed to be our strong suit. How you drop the ball on your strong suit. That's supposed to be the wheelhouse. That's a woman's wheelhouse. A woman's wheelhouse is the emotional space. We supposed to be able to handle that with our eyes closed and one arm wrapped behind our back, tied behind our back. We supposed to be able to do that. Your husband bring you any of his emotions in any form that he may bring them to you. You're supposed to be able to help him process that. And if you don't, even if you don't help him process it, you're supposed to be the landing pad. Even if he doesn't need you to do anything other than allow him to take it and set it somewhere else. Because many times that's what they want you to do. He want to take that emotional thing and give it to you. That don't mean he don't have it no more. It just means, here, you put this on your table. Because that's your table. And when I come back for that emotional bit, and let's say I want to talk, and let's say I maybe want to go over that, you're supposed to help me see my way through that. I told you men work logically first. And then emotionally. If their emotion block their logic, they can't get through the problem because they're stuck at the emotional space of the problem. They want to offload that. Because they work through the logic and reason first, then the emotional piece. Now they can come back to that emotional piece. You held it for him. He might so much as just come back and say, baby, I'm sorry. I was in my own zone, but I'm good now. That was enough. That was enough. That was enough. You did in that instance, you did your job. You may not feel like you did anything. You didn't help him solve the problem. Y'all didn't have a big discussion about it or anything like that. It seems as though you did not do anything. But actually, you helped him quite a bit because you allowed him to take that emotional part and give it to you without you blowing up. And now you're all upset. If you can manage to hold a concern for his without you getting upset, that was enough. That was enough. That was enough. You helped him with that emotional piece. You helped him. He was able to express something to you that maybe didn't even have nothing to do with you. It was something else. You didn't get crazy. You didn't get upset you didn't get anxiety. You didn't start freaking out or, oh my God, or what is that? You didn't even so much as start asking a whole bunch of questions about it. You just took it. So you got to know and navigate that. You got to know how to navigate that. Sometimes your man give you something it's not meant for you to start asking questions. He's not asking you to problem solve for him. That's not what you're doing. He's not asking for that. Now, if you have a bright idea of a suggestion that you think he might not have thought of, you can just lay it on the table. And sometimes y'all don't know how to just lay something on the table. Well, babe, this might be an option as well. And say what your thought was on that. This could be an option too. When you give it to him like this could be an option as well, it gives him something to think about rather than, well, you should do this. Now you problem solve. Maybe he take the suggestion, maybe not. It's all right if he don't. It's all right if he do. Again, he's working on the problem. He don't need you to constantly come back and constantly try to, unless he asks you. Thank you again, Shell Shocks, for just showing my support. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Passport Wolf said, is it when the man's SOS increases during a relationship begins a dislike of the man? That's possible as well. That's possible as well. Thank you to Renzo Our Seasons here, twin. Sincerely, Gemini man, a man without biological children and still a man. I heard your message. Yeah, oh yeah, this is twin season. Big twins. But you know, I'm partial to the June twins. Anyway, thank you, Too Tall. Said right on, Kendra. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And thank you, Real Billy Ray Valentine said having emotions and processing emotions are two different things. Bars. Thank you so much. Thank everybody so very much. Hold on, before we get out of here. One moment. Why is that not a hyperlink? Hold on. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Sister Beshua said twin season. Exactly. Thank you so much. And thank you, John Tills. If you're going to make a suggestion, please never say I feel like, because there's no logic in feeling. Say I was thinking about. We respect thought. That is a good point as well for phrasing purposes. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. We're going to get out of here. But before we do,
all of these styles and designs can be found at our Etsy shop in the description below. Aaliyah's Unique Boutique. Etsy.com. Follow us on IG at Aaliyah's Unique Boutique.
the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Aaliyah's Unique Boutique. Go there to pick up beautiful handmade, handcrafted earrings. The shop inventory is updated on a very regular basis. So definitely stop by there periodically. Pick you out a pair for yourself or for your woman or for any woman in your life that you think need a good pair of beautiful handmade earrings. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Aaliyah's Unique Boutique. And you know what it is. June 6th on the way. Here we go. It's going to be 47. Girl. Real close to that 50. Real close to that 50. But anyway, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.